Good morning, everybody. We're ready for Tai Chi this morning. So glad you're with me, and we're going to have a nice, meditative, soft, flowy class, I hope, today. That's the thought and the plan, and I have the doors open. It's a beautiful day, and we can hear the birds, and hopefully nobody will start a lawnmower, in which case we'll change that. But for right now, we can hear the outside, and I hope you have your doors and windows open and enjoy this beautiful morning. So good morning, and let's get started. Let's open our class. Sheng Li. Just begin to follow the movement. Standing on your feet comfortably. And as your body begins to move, just begin to let yourself relax into the pose, into the stance. Noticing a gentle weight shift. Just a gentle shift across the midline. Noticing your breath. Noticing the movement of your spine as you begin to open for your movement. So this is just a gentle way to open your body up and wake up and start moving. And begin to think in circles. Think in circles, feel in circles as if you're moving from the inside out. And your movement can be small. It could be very small indeed. If you have a shoulder one day that's a little sore, you feel a little stiff, movements can be right down here as long as they start from the inside and circle out. And then you can slowly let them enlarge. And in fact, for a moment, see how it feels to let the movement coil up and become slightly smaller, slightly smaller. Slightly smaller, everything the same, turning almost till you come to the point of being just moving, almost as if you had a little globe between your hands. And then let the movement slowly open and become larger again. Yeah. And bigger. And try it one more time. Let it become smaller, almost as if you draw it in a little bit, but the movement still begins at the center of your body. Your cloud hand movement becomes smaller and smaller. And then you can let it expand and expand. As your energy widens and opens and releases and flows. There. And continue for a moment longer, just allowing yourself to be present in this moment. Noticing your breath as you're circling. And whether you're noticing your breath at the tip of your nose or your lips, or you notice it at your belly, or you notice the whole breath in, doesn't matter, just pay attention to your breath and this present moment as your body continues to move. Every time your thoughts decide to slip away and you feel and notice that you're thinking about something else, and just bring it back to the breath and the movement without judgment. And for a moment, just allow the movement to feel really smooth and flowy and continuous, and allowing the breath into your body, being part of the movement, being the movement, and your movement being the breath. Soften your shoulders, your jaw, the tissues and muscles around your face, as if you're smiling from within. And the next time you finish the movement, slowly let your hands come to your hips and stand up. Relax your shoulders and arms for a little bit. And just loosen your legs. Shift your weight front to back. Get that familiarity of that sensation of imprinting into the mat or into the floor, and the floor imprinting into you, and beginning to create that sense of elongating and rooting downward, and at the same time allowing all this energy you have just begun to wake up to allow it to grow and reach upwards through your crown point. So you're feeling connected in all directions as you're standing here. And then just focus on your breath for a moment. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable, or you can keep your eyes open and watch. And as you're standing here, for a moment, breathe as if you're breathing into your left lung, as if you're breathing towards your left arm. And just notice as you're breathing and filling the left lung and the left rib cage begins to move, notice what happens in your body and let the breath return. And then try the same to the opposite side. Breathing and let it return. And continue to shift between the left and the right side of your breath. And notice if you can sense a very little shift of your center of gravity away from your midline and towards one leg or the other as you're breathing. Just that little bit of change in awareness and movement changes the way our body feels. And the next time you finish your cycle of breath, switch, and this time breathe as if you're breathing into the front of your lungs and into the front of your ribs. And then feel the breath towards the back of your lungs and the back of your ribs. So every time you inhale, feel the front of your ribs open and widen. And then exhale and notice your body return to a balanced position. And then inhale again and inhale into the back of the lungs, the back of the ribs, as if you're inhaling to the back of the room. And continue this pattern for just a little bit, front and to the back. And notice again, as you get comfortable with the pattern, notice that gentle little shift of your weight towards the front of your feet and towards the back of your feet. So how we breathe matters. It changes the way our posture, our plumb line, our position on top of our legs, the way our head is resting on top of the spine. It changes that balance. And if we have an area of our spine or an area of our ribs that doesn't move well because we have had pain or because we've had surgery or because we feel a particular way, then that means we're maybe not balancing towards that side as much. So just a little notice of balancing in movement, balancing in breath has everything to do with the balance of your body. Just standing in one position. For a moment, try something fun. Breathe towards the front, and then when you breathe in, let the breath fill you in a circle towards the side, towards the back, all the way to the front again. And then when you exhale, exhale in the reverse. See if you can let the breath take the time it takes for you to go all the way around the circle. So you begin to breathe in towards the front, into the side on the left, into the back, into the side on the right, and back to the front. And then exhale the opposite direction. And maybe your speed or your pace is a little bit faster than the one I just went over, to let your motion and your breath match each other. And notice how you're gently circling as you do this on your feet. This time when you reach the front, reverse your motion, start to breathe in and circle to the right side, back. And exhale in the reverse. And it begins to look like a little bit of a motion of a circle. And just a few more times at your own pace, noticing that sensation of expanding your lungs as if they're a balloon and you're expanding, going around and filling it a little at a time, and then going around and letting it out a little at a time. Okay. After the next time, let's go in the first circle again, and let's just let the body follow, and now see if your breath and your body can both go together. So the body, and let your body follow this time. Before we were moving from the breath only, but now let the breath and the body follow each other. And out. And one more time in this direction. And noticing that nice, even movement as your breath and your ribs and your spine and your hips and your legs are all moving as one. And then let's go in the opposite direction, breathing in and out. And again, follow your own rhythm, your own pace. Some of us have great, big, deep capacity for breathing all the way to the floor almost, and others a little bit less for different reasons, and that's all fine. One last time, returning. And when you find your way back to the center, just take a moment to enjoy a place that feels to you as if you're right in the middle, right over or into your ankle bone, and that you're feeling even left to right, front to back. Soften your kneecaps, feeling the gentle length of your legs, the softness and looseness of your hips and your pelvis. That amidst all of this, even though we haven't focused on that, has been really opening up and releasing. And now feeling your spine, the position of your head, the comfortable length of your arms. Let's sit into our legs. Let's bring our arms into a small fist, soft fist, and let's turn to the left side and bring the right hand in front until it's in front of your left hip bone, and your left hand up so that it's just above your forehead in the center. And then we start the movement turning to the left until both hands are even at your waist height, and then circling across. Left hand stops when it's in front of your right hip bone. Right hand arm continues until it circles back to the midline. Start the movement by unwinding to the side and circling. And let's continue. Movement here is the movement of the waist starting, so it's not so much the arms, it's the waist start moving. So the movement of the whole body to its looking to the right, allowing the arms to lower, the waist moving all the way to the left side. And then here at the end, the waist turns a little bit back to the right, returns to the left, and continue. The next time we're coming through, we're going to continue, but you're going to take a step towards the diagonal. And this time, circle, sit back, place your foot next to the other and switch side. And sit back. And switch side. Keep breathing. Continue. For those of you who don't know the movement so well, just so you can see where the arms go to the front. Both arms right in the center when we're on both feet, continuing to turn. One hand ends up right in front of the hips, hitting tiger. The next time you're in the center, step to this diagonal again. Good. This time, stay forward. Turn your foot so that it's now even, or pointing forward, and take the other foot. Good. And turn. And step. And turn. Leave your weight forward, step, and turn. And step. And turn. And I have room for one more step. I know we all have a different amount of space. And slowly finish. Wherever you are, step as far back into your room, and let's do that again. So sitting into our legs, picking up our left foot and stepping into that diagonal, turning to the left, turning to the more to the left. And as you turn forward, it is as if your whole body is moving. So we're not trying to move the leg alone or move the arms and then the leg. It's all moving together like it's one, starting from the center. You can even play with that, feeling the pivoting on your heel. There you go. So then you're ending up and the arms are following the movement as well. So once your toes are pointing straight forward and your knees are pointing in the direction of your toes, you keep your weight forward, pick up your opposite leg, step to the diagonal, continue to circle, and hit the tiger. Turn to the right. Stay forward. So it's so tempting to come back, and we did that before, but we're staying forward, and turn, and step. And finish again. Good. All right, hit the tiger. Let's change this to a different one, and then we'll combine the two. So we'll combine it with the white crane. So the white crane, I'll stand this way again to start. Take a moment relaxing your body, sitting into your legs. And just for a moment, let's keep our legs the way they are. And let's bring our left hand, so your left hand, palm facing you, up through the midline. Left hand goes down through the midline. Once you're sort of at forehead height and hip height, palms face out. And there's our white crane. Palms face you. Your left comes down on the inside, your right comes up on the outside. And turn. There. And really nice to feel that coming together, that drawing towards the center. And then that feeling of opening the spine and releasing. And again. And again, up and release. Thinking about keeping openness of your shoulders and of your arms. So you'll continually keep a gentle curve of your arm. Sometimes we end up a little bit straight this way or a little bit too close. But keeping that feeling of openness in the shoulder, openness in the elbow, openness in the wrist and the hands. And there you are. The next time you're coming up, turn your right foot a little bit, step on the toe on the left. And then switch again. And we'll just keep on one foot for a moment. And just hold there for a moment, feeling how you're sinking into your standing leg, how your toes resting on the floor, how you feel balanced right between or mostly on the right leg, and how you're reaching up through your crown point, down through your left arm, up through your right, and feeling that expansion across your chest, to the front, to the back. Breathing, feel expanding a little bit more, hold it a little longer, and sit into your legs just a little bit more. And then let's place the left foot right behind. Let's have the right toe resting on the floor. Right hand comes down the midline. And feel tall and long here again. And take a moment, let the shoulder relax. Feel the sitting into the left leg. Feel the just resting on the toe to balance. And feel that sensation of being inside a sphere, as if you're pressing through against a stocking that you have all around you in all directions. And then switch again, right foot behind, and step up, and feel the length. Good. Let's rest for a moment. And one thing that's important that happens so easily, and you might recognize it a little bit in yourself, maybe not, often when we come up, we also bring the leg up. So we do it through the leg. We're so used to feeling movement through the leg and not so much through the spine and through the tissues and through the organs. So the feeling of everything coming together but not collapsing, not pressing together, that sensation of drawing them together as if they're coiling, as all the tissues are taking up a little tension this way, and then slowly releasing it and feeling that length. But the length means that you're also reaching down. So it's not, the length is not everything is going up, because then we topple over, then we have no balance. But as you begin to reach up, you're also reaching down, sit bone towards the heel, crown point towards the ceiling, everything in all directions. So let's try it one more time from here. So stay forward in your room for now, since this one moves to the back. Sit into your legs, turn your left foot, bounce on the toe on the, turn your right foot, bounce on the toe on the left, and come up. And then switching. And feel that length. And see if you can keep the feeling. If you had a line right at the top of your head back to the room, you would never change that height. Same height all the way back. So we are not having the head go up and down, but go straight back. And maybe one more step. Good. And rest. Right, very good. Just one more time, I'll do it facing you so we can all do it together this way. So go to the front of your room, turn your right foot, left foot comes to the front, and continue. So I'll just do it facing you, hopefully without confusion. Yeah. And open and lengthen. Take your time, every part feeling and weighing the same. And as always, being aware of what's behind you when you walk to the back so that you don't have a surprise. Yeah. And I have room, I think, for one more step. And left. Good. All right. Let's combine the two. So let us start to the back of your room. We'll start with hit the tiger. And we sit into our legs. Both hands form a soft fist. Step to the diagonal. And circle. Continue to the front. And step. The next time you come through, leave your foot or just turn it a slight bit and instead bring your left foot to the front. And there's your right crane. Spreads its wings so they can dry. And to the back. And again. Good. Place your right foot down. Step to the corner again. And step to the front. So we'll continue just a few times. If you have room for 3 steps, you can switch between the two if you feel you can remember the pattern. Or you can step back and just join again. Right crane. Do it a couple more times just to let you follow, have your chance to follow the flow and not worry about everything being correct, but letting your body follow the movement. Oh, sorry. Yeah. There you go. I got this all wrong. I hope you all had it right. Switch to the wrong side. And then one more time, just so I can get it right. And one last time, I'll do it sideways so you can, if you are missing something in terms of a question of the movement, I'll do it this way. So that'll be our last time. So we'll sit into our legs. We'll step to the diagonal. for your diagonal forward. At this point, pause and lengthen. Place one foot, align the opposite foot, and let your body slowly come out. Good. So hopefully the different directions help you answer questions rather than confuse you as to directions. But as you know, always in these classes, and I can't say it enough times, it's not about being correct. It's about feeling, experiencing something you haven't experienced before, sensing something a little different, finding a connection, noticing that, oh, my breath is real. I'm really holding my breath. I'm not moving as better breathe. That's a great thing to discover. If you do that number of times here, maybe you do it when you are out doing your activities in the day. So everything you notice, everything you experience is something that you want to cherish and hope transfers to the rest of your life. That's why we do it. We want you to feel safe. We want you to feel good, and remember that whole idea of it should feel good. It should feel good to live in your body, right? And as I heard somebody say recently, which is so true, we have to take good care of this body, because where else are we going to live? And that's so true, right? All right, let us go to something a little different. I asked you to have your mat, your yoga mat, or a blanket, or just if you're on a carpet, bring that out right now. And then let's find our way. There we go. There's my mat. There we go. And then just gonna have you get down to the floor if you're comfortable doing that. If you're someone who's not comfortable getting down to the floor, you can do most of this sitting on a chair as well. But let's get down to the floor. And get down to the floor, just take a moment before you get down to sort of think, how can I do it most efficiently? And can I do it without having to really put my hands on? Is that what I need? Or can I kind of get down a little bit? What do I need? How gracefully can I get down? How little can I use my hands without toppling onto the floor? So give yourself a moment, and you can leave your shoes on, or you can take them off. And when you get to the floor, then take a moment, adjust just your position, and then slowly roll down to lie, or you can get over your side to lie down, and then lie down onto your back. I think I'm going to take this off as well so you can see me. And once you get to your back, take a moment to just feel nice and comfortable on the floor. Give yourself that little bit of time to just adjust. Feel the shoulders feel heavy on the floor. Feel that your pelvis adjust to the floor. There's always something that needs to move. Shoulder blade isn't in the right place. Feel the back of your head on the mat. Feel your feet on the mat and your arms. And if your palms have to face up and it feels better, that's fine too. And just for a moment, close your eyes and let gravity allow you to sink towards the floor. Allow the eyeballs to sink towards the floor. Allow your jaw to sink and your tongue even to sink back a little bit. Your teeth. Allow your neck and your shoulders to feel almost drawn to the floor. Noticing the backside, the side of the arm that's touching the mat and the floor. Noticing the shoulders and the ribs on the floor, and also your pelvis. And for a moment, notice if you've sensed a difference from side to side in terms of weight. Do you feel heavier on one side than the other? Does it feel like you're pressing more, or you're having more of an imprint on one side? See if you do. See if you can change anything in your body, breathing into the opposite side, just adjusting, and see if you can just make it sort of feel even side to side. Maybe you can, maybe you can. And then for a moment, press into your feet. Let your pelvis gently rock towards you. So your pubic bone rocks down towards the floor and your tailbone up. And then let your tailbone rock down towards the floor and let your belly button come away from the floor. And just for a moment, you can use a little pressure into your feet and then you can release it. And you, as you get going here, you can let that movement be pretty nice and accentuated. So you're kind of reaching down and you're rolling over the sacrum and reaching up. You can kind of let it be a nice, almost like you're in a rowboat and you're kind of letting your pelvis be the rowboat over the wave. You're just in a wake of some ship that came by and your pelvis is sort of rolling over one side of the wake and then rolling to the other side. Feeling the movement into your ribs, into your shoulders. And then pause right there. Turn your palms so they're facing down. Bring your arms a little bit wider than your mat and let both knees glide down to one side. And if you've been busy this long weekend and you've been in the garden and bending down a lot and looking at plants or anything, sitting a lot, this is a nice opener for the spine. And then slowly let your spine spiral itself back to the floor. And let your knees over to the opposite side, allowing the hip away, keeping your shoulder and arm on the floor as well as possible. And slowly start under the opposite shoulder of your knees, so the direction your knees are leaning, and slowly spiral back. And a few more times, letting your body open and lengthen. And inhale on your way back. And just find that place. Remember how we started today, allowing the breath and the movement to become one. You can almost start this movement with the breath as if you're sending breath into the back of your ribs on one side. And then releasing and letting it go. And then when you breathe in again, feel the breath opening into the back of your left side of your back of your ribs and feel the ribs drawing to the floor as you expand. So let the breath and the movement guide one another. So expanding towards the floor. One more time to each side. And lifting. And one last time, returning until your legs feel vertical. Good. Let your arms come just along your side a little bit more and feel as if your fingertips are reaching towards your heels a little bit. And then walk your heels a little bit closer to you so that your feet are more underneath your knees. That helps to prevent cramping of the legs a bit. Gives you a little more support. Now gently press into your feet and begin to let your pelvis come away from the floor, rolling slowly and articulating your spine into a bridge position and making sure you're not trying to push your pelvis up, but you're kind of letting it float and feeling that length of your femur bones reaching in the direction of your knees and over the toes. And then start under your upper back, feeling the back of the ribs, finding the floor. And then slowly your pelvis as well and release. So breathing in. And as you exhale, imagine a nice wave. You're lying on the beach and imagine a nice wave coming in and little by little lift your body away until you're supported in your bridge position. And as the wave goes out, feel how the upper ribs, the upper part of the spine first finds the floor and slowly allow you down. And try a few more times, really getting this nice balance in the movement. Again, you can breathe in or you can breathe out at any point as long as you're not holding your breath. And just one more time. Lift up and away. And just pause there for a moment. Feel even longer through the crown point, longer through your legs. Relax your shoulders. Feel as if your heels are reaching towards your shoulders and your fingertips, and your fingertips are reaching towards your heels. Almost create that little tension underneath your body as you're creating that little circuit of energy underneath you to support the bridge position of you. And then slowly lower back down. Good. And if you got a little cramping or if you need to shake out your legs, go ahead. Let them up in the air, shake, move your feet. And then place your feet back on the floor. Feeling the back of your ribs and your breath into the back of your ribs. Let your arms up and over your head and reach. And inhale as you reach to the ceiling. Exhale as you lower back down. Just keep the feeling of the back of your ribs connected. You can also feel as if your ribs in the front are staying connected along and around that midline. And just a couple more times. If you have a shoulder that's sore and this is a position or a movement that's a little much, just go into the range that's comfortable. Don't go any further. If this is it, that's fine. Only go as far as your shoulders. For me right now, I shouldn't even go all the way to the floor because that would cause for me to lose my integrity of my neutral spine. So I should be right here, which is true for many of us. And just one last time. So going all the way to the floor is not the goal, or not the goal unless your body is completely open and prepared to go there this very moment today. Good. All right. Now, let's turn onto our side, facing front, so you can see me. And do a little bit of an opener for your hips. And then we'll get up and do Tai Chi again. Let us open the knee away from the other knee. So you're starting with your hips aligned, your knees aligned, your ankles aligned, your shoulders aligned, your back of your head aligned with the back of your body. So here we are. And then just let your knee come away from the floor and back down. Just that little opener. Just noticing, how does this hip feel today? What's the range? And then when next time you open, place the foot right behind the foot that's on the floor. So now you have one foot standing on the floor, knee pointing up, and the other leg on the floor. You can keep a hand in front for just a little balance, a little support. And then feel that you're opening the hip as much as possible without letting it be your pelvis, right? This is all in the hip. Once you're there, soften and relax in through. Notice where we carry so much tension around the hip. So the front, the groin, inside, the hip flexors, the deep in the back of the pelvis and the hip. And then inhale. And on the next exhale, imagine a string at the outside, the back side of your leg, and feel that you can draw it back towards the back wall for you. What is your back wall? And feel the whole leg, not just the knee, but the whole side of the leg drawing back. Pause it there. Don't bring it anywhere else, but relax into it. So relaxing without dropping it. So it stays as the open position, and then relax and allow the femoral head glide to the back of the hip joint, the hip socket. Thank you. And then softening, softening, softening. And once again, draw the leg to the back side of the room and feel how your hip is slowly beginning to allow a greater space between your legs. And one more time, softening and relaxing in through the hip, in through the femur, front, back, and sides. And when you're ready to draw it back to the back wall again, also feel that the leg on the floor is drawing to the floor. So you're feeling that opposition, one drawing down and into the floor, one to the back wall, and enjoy that movement. And notice how great a movement you all of a sudden have compared to when you started. Now close your leg and open it. And notice that perhaps your hip has greater range than before. It's such a nice, gentle, inviting way to allow your body to open instead of forcing it to do so. Next time you close your legs, slowly come to sitting. And then we have to, as gently and as elegantly as possible, swing your legs to the opposite side, come all the way down. Because I have the earpiece in, I'm not going to lie down on this side, but you guys lie on your side. And there you are on your side. Hips aligned, knees aligned, shoulders aligned, and begin to open and close again. Just feeling your range. And then place your foot behind the other foot, so the leg that's behind you is now on the floor behind the other foot. And so for a moment, relax and soften in through the hip. And then feel that string at the back of the knee, the back of the thigh, and let it draw to the back of the room. Good. And once you do that, again, stay where it is, pause in that position, and feel where you can find softness. Where can you release? Maybe you can, maybe it's a breath, maybe it's a sigh, maybe it holds on for a very good reason, but see how much you can let go of. And then once again, Again, that feeling of drawing one knee down, one to the back of the room. And just one more time, pausing there. And open, 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 open. Good. Then close and open. A wonderful way to start the summer, opening our hips. There. And close. And open. And one more time. And open. After the next time, let's find our way back up to the floor, to standing. So find your way up to perhaps to hands and knees. For a lot of us, that's a good way to go. Either you curl your toes under and come up that way. Some of you might find that one leg and then the other foot and then a hand and a hand. And some of you may find that just standing up on one leg and coming forward is the way to go for you. So try that. And let's place our mat to the side. If you had shoes off, if you had shoes on that you took off, put them back on. There we go. Almost there. Perfect. There we are. Good. Let us do a little bit of the form and go a little bit into the beginning of the movements of the form. So let's start facing forward. Take a moment, get there. Some of you may still be getting ready. So feet on the floor, legs are parallel, arms along your side. And just for a moment, let your arms glide to the front to about the level of your shoulders. And then soften your elbows, soften your wrists, soften your hands, and let them glide back to the hips. So again. And as you continue to find this movement, which is the beginning movement of the form, as many of you are aware, play a little bit with the feeling we started with, and we also did when we were lying on the mat, the sensation of breathing. And this time you might sense that you're breathing into all spheres of your lungs and your rib cage at the same time, including breathing up and down. So the feeling of expanding energy, expanding breath, and imagine that your lungs are much bigger than your body, and that there's also lungs under your arms, and as you breathe in, perhaps your arms are floating up. Although the movement of the energy doesn't have to correspond to your inhale and exhale, but it's just one vision. Sometimes that feeling of expansion can be easily felt through the breath. So for a moment, play with that feeling of expanding the energy, rising and opening and widening. There. So that your arms feel as if they're floating up without lifting them. So lifting the arms is one thing, allowing the whole energy to allow them to float up, almost like you had a little string. And they're just floating up because your energy is guiding and lifting and expanding. There. Once your arms reach about shoulder level, make sure that you're still relaxed in your shoulders. Make sure that it's not your shoulders lifting this way, but that your shoulders are relaxed. And then notice that as you return from the elevated position, the first thing that happens is just a gentle softness, just like your elbow just releases a little bit. And when you do that, it'll change the way, because as it drops, it will automatically rotate the form. So you don't have to think elbow, turn. If you drop your elbow, play with that. You'll notice that your arms, your wrist naturally turn, and then slowly glide back. Try it again, reaching out and away, and feel how you're gently dropping your elbows and how your wrist and hand ends up going up a little bit. So when you go down, you're not trying to have it all go down together. When you drop the elbow, the hand sort of goes up a little bit. So when you're continuing your movement, the end of the movement here that makes your hand feel as if they go up a little bit is the elbow. But anyway, just a little sensation of flow and fluidity in the movement. This time, as your hands are reaching your hips, sit into your legs a little more into your right. And from here, just pivot the right leg and the right hand, the right arm around the elbow. And take a step to the diagonal. Heel, foot flat. And let your left hand come forward into what we call grasping the bird's tail. So the arm is rounded. The right hand glides down. Imagine a bird's, great big bird's back and tail. So as one hand comes forward, one arm comes forward and your body goes forward, the other arm goes in the opposite direction. Try that a couple of times. There. Try it a couple more times. Body goes forward, right hand goes back. So they're splitting there. If there was a person near you that you were in combat with and as a martial art, you would be leaning into the person with this hand, with this part of your body, and the other part of your body would have the person's arm. So you would be pushing them here, and you would be pulling them, and they would fall that way. So the idea of splitting the energy, making the person come off balance, just as an image, not that we go for that, but it might help. So again, stepping to the diagonal and forward, and try it just a couple more times now that you have that image, that leaning into. And again, this time when you're forward, pause there, leave your weight forward on your left foot, pick up your right, step to the side, heel, foot flat, right hand comes around, there, left hand in front, there, good. And try that again. Come forward. And forward. Forward. So once you're here, pause for a second, sit into your leg, feel the length of your crown point towards the ceiling, feel the roundness that I talk about of the arm, so that roundness, so we're not bent or straight. So here we are. Good. The other opposite hand is right in front of the wrist to support. So let's just do that first, that little piece again. So from the beginning and just to that point. So let's start, begin. Sitting into our legs, mostly the right, pivot on the right heel, right elbow, grasping bird's tail. Picking up the right foot with the right hand, now step towards the side into ward off. This time, turn both palms. Now you have a person's arm between your hands and you're sitting back. And then you turn your body. The left hand circles around and wrist circles around until it meets the right. You bring it to the front and press. So from ward off, we sit back, we imagine a person's arm, we pull them towards us, pull them to the side, not by pulling with the legs, but by sitting more and turning the waist. So we're simply bringing the person off of balance, turning, and then all we have to do is to send them away. But we can also choose to, which is the form, circle, and now bring the palm or the wrist behind and press and send them away that way. So again, from ward off, sit back, turn, circle, and press. Again, sit back and press. And again. One more time. Good. Let's do the beginning to right there a couple of times. Begin, letting your arms float, feeling the crown point rising, your roots deepening. Sitting into your right leg mostly, pivoting on the heel, stepping to the diagonal, grasping bird's tail, picking up your right foot, step straight to the side, ward off. Both arms, both hands, palms facing opposite. Two more times. Begin. And one more time. Begin. Let me go this way. Very good. So if you want to practice the beginning during the week, or pull up, well, by next week by Friday you get this recording, I think, if you're in the membership, then you can keep practicing parts of this if you choose to do that. All right, let's do the first section of the form, and we'll do it a couple of times. So start in a place where you have a little room from side to side. If you need to make adjustments, we all do, space-wise. Matters not if it's time to take a step forward and you've met your wall. Instead, take a step back and see if you can do it in such a way, in a Tai Chi way. So rather than sometimes we'll be doing brush knee and we hit the wall, and then we have to do things just to see if you can do it in a Tai Chi way. So say this is and you have to do another step. Maybe you can take a step back, or maybe you can take a step back and instead of taking a step forward. But see if you can move and continue in that feeling, because all movement is Tai Chi. So it's the principle of the movement. So when you meet your references in terms of space, see if you can keep that feeling of Tai Chi in you as you switch. So that'll be the challenge as we go through, because I know we all don't have the amount of space that we are used to when we practice. So let us starting a little bit to the right side in your room, probably. Begin. And push. Sit back. Both hands circle. Foot comes along, leg comes along as you circle. Circle. Continues, right hand stays behind, step to the front, single rib. Pivot just slightly on your left foot, close hands. Left hand is right next to the right elbow, and then circle down. Step to a, this is not quite a, it's not a 45-degree angle, it's sort of like a 15-20-degree angle, just so you get enough so you can turn. Here comes the white crane. Right palm facing you, left hand circles up and over. Step and push. Pick up the right leg. Small follow step and play guitar. And again. Turning. Step, heel, foot flat. Brush and push. Good, one more time. Follow step. Step back and play guitar. One more brush knee, step and brush. Fist. Strike, parry, and punch. Sit back. Retreat and seal. Both palms facing down. Flat push. Gently circle. Left foot circles. Left hand. Right hand. Picking up the right foot. Both wrists crossing. And slowly finish. One more time. This time, follow, let your breath, feeling the movement being your breath and your body moving all together. And just enjoy the flow of it. And don't worry about where anything goes in particular. Just follow and allow your body to feel good as you do that. Begin. Very good. I hope you enjoyed that. Continue to enjoy this beautiful, beautiful day. And I'll see you either to one of the Pilates classes or next Tuesday. Have a wonderful day. Let me know in your chat if you have any questions, any comment, or shoot me an email. Let me know what's happening. And have a great day and a great week. All right, love to all of you. Let's close our class. Xingli. Well done. Bye now.